So we like the scalability of the alphabet O, and we started toying with it. So let's move to the next slide. That's just some fun we were having. O for Mr. Obstructrix, who's typically the politician who comes in the way of growth. But let's move on. We'll move to the next slide. So for us, the O in growth was equal to opportunities, which is windows of opportunity for growth. And of course, when we look through that window, there are several areas where growth must happen and can happen. For example, health, education, and infrastructure. We're looking at the growth story close to our heart and in India. So moving forward to the next slide. In what areas would growth be most impactful? And when we started drawing this whole wheel of growth, we realized that almost every business sector would benefit from growth currently. Obviously some more and some less. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we did a concept scan, as in if opportunities is our idea or a keyword or the hook around which we are going to be building our concept. If we scan it across industries, does it really prove to be something we should work on? And we realized that if you look at the education industry, the vertical of education, there is need for accessibility to education. There is need for improved mediums and methods of education in India. There's need for better quality of educators. So yes, there is a lot of opportunity, so it holds good in that sector. If you look at infrastructure, there is need for better connectivity, need to jumpstart connectivity using technology perhaps, so there is opportunity there. So as we scan for different sectors, we realize that opportunity is a key word for us. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we didn't know why, who, when, where, what something working on this morning, and how. Next slide, please. So that's really a window of opportunity. We've also converted it into an umbrella concept. So we can really pull up whichever sector we need to through this umbrella of opportunities. So you can see these danglers with education, telecom, healthcare. These are the areas where opportunities can be created. Next. The next slide. We were thinking of how best would we model any idea that we create, and we realized that the best way would be to actually start from an urban center. So an urban hub which is well connected, has a lot of media presence, infrastructure and technology would be the best starting point to reach out to feeder terminals, which could be in smaller area towns or even within an urban area to people who don't have access to these aspects of life and living. So this could be a delivery model. And then we said, let's step back and see again, we kept stepping back and seeing whether this concept really makes sense. So we said, why have we focused on the word opportunity? And we realized that there are lots of obstacles today, and the obstacles are present in our system, in our culture, and these are, impediments such as lack of education, lack of empowerment, corruption, financial constraints, social biases, gender biases, etc. So we need to really pull through these obstacles and ensure that opportunities reach the deserving, or the ones who are looking for it. Next slide, please. And then we just did a quick look at ourselves as people and said, what are we really naturally good at? Or let's look at the qualities that we have which would work for us. And we realized that as a nation and people, what's really high up there in terms of the qualities is the aspect of care and hospitality, resilience, tolerance, which may be good or bad, wisdom, we're storytellers, and we transmit our values through generations. There's a huge amount of curiosity, drama, emotionality, so we can work on that. We use those as feeders. So we can use these qualities as feeders for whatever system we create. And then of course there are the bad ones, which I'm not going to focus on right now. And we have assets and strengths within our populace, which is our manpower, especially the youth. We have art and culture through the ages, knowledge, ingenuity. We're able to make things work somehow. Spirituality, these are the positives. I know. And then we were looking at, if we look at the negatives, what can we use a negative and make it a positive? So one of the negative qualities being that people in India are they don't typically try. This is sorry, the slide needs to change on your screen. It's to the next one, in Melbourne. Yeah, so one of the negative qualities, which is the mindset of people, that people don't try for fear of failure. We said, can we make failure work for us in the area of innovation? So can we use failure as an advantage? Can we actually create opportunities for education through failure case studies? So this is just a random thought that we thought we'd build into the system. Next. And then we said that whatever we do create, it needs to be judged on a happiness meter. So that's the last idea, the concluding slide to this. Yeah, thank you.
Fantastic.